Hello, Rich Alverson here. This is ITS128, and it's March 4th. And today I'm going to go over Chapter 8, I think. Let me share my screen. Or do something. All right, so March 4th, right here, loops. Oh, Chapter 8. Okay. So let's go to the textbook. All right, Chapter 8. Nested loops. Seems like. All right, so last time we covered loops, and so you can have nested loops, where that means you have a loop inside of a loop. And so let's say, for example, you want to um, list all the two-letter domain names that are made up of letters, two-letter letters. And so you could do this by having an outer while loop, which letter one goes from A. And this takes gets goes to the B, and then this executes to C. But then inside this loop, inside this the outer loop, which okay, so what prints out is letter one and then letter two. And so letter one is the outer loop and letter two is the inner loop. And so it ends up printing like this, where the outer loop, uh, you know, the A is printed, but then the inner loop executes and it goes all the way from A to Z. So that's why we see A, B, A, C, all the way down to AZ, all the way down to AZ. And then finally, the outer loop, this finally this inner loop is done. So then it drops down to here, and the A turns into a B, and then it goes back up to the top again, starting with the second letter all over again. So that's why it starts out at BA, then BB, then BC, all the way up. Okay, so that's an inner loop. That's an outer loop and an inner loop. Okay, so you can execute this. This is just now we're supposed to modify it so the second character can be a letter or a number. Well, I know you can fool around with that. All right. Creating histogram. Let's so given the following code, how many times will the inner loop execute? The inner loop executes 3 times, 0, 1, and 2. You're supposed to write the answer. Oh, no. Okay, so the inner loop executes 3 times, but that happens twice because the outer loop executes twice. So this outer loop executes twice, and each time the outer loop executes, the inner loop executes. So that's 3 times 2 is 6. So that's why the answer is 6. Okay, given the following code, how many times will the print statement execute? Well, the print statement will execute 5 times. This is going to be just 10, 11. So this 2 for every time this inner for loop executes, it prints out twice. And there's 5 of them, so the answer is 10. And here's something where C1 goes from A to B. This increments. This goes from A to B. See, this takes the ordinal value, which is the number of whatever this letter is, and then it adds one to it, and then it converts it back into the character. So that makes an A turn into a B. Anyway, so this is just going to print what is the output of the following code? Oh, I see, just space. Okay, so it's going to be something like uh, AA space AB space AC space. And then I think that's it, because when this gets incremented to B, then this will fail. Okay, so the outer the outer pass only does once. So I think that's the answer. Let's see if I'm right. Ah, yes. The outer loop executes once and the inner loop executes 3 times. All right, so anyway, you can go through those. Oh, good, here's a challenge. Enter the output of the nested loop. Okay. The outer loop. Let's see. The outer loop goes from 0, 1, 2, and 3. Well, the outer loop executes 4 times, and the inner loop just executes once. So it looks like count increments 4 times. And it's 4 times. I don't know. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Okay. What's next? Uh, the inner loop again only executes once, so it's like it's not even there. So this goes 4, 5, 6. Well, it's going to execute 3 times. The count is going to execute 3 times, so it's 3. Oh, yes. What's next? Okay, the outer loop executes 0, 1, 2, and 3. And so it's 4 times. Oh, yeah, the outer loop executes 4 times. And then the inner loop executes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5 times. So the inner loop is 4 times, the outer loop is 4 times, the inner loop is 5 times. Well, that equals 20. It's 4 times 5 is 20. Boom. Yes, that's correct. All right, well, you can do the rest of them. Oh, here's a letter one. I better do this one for you. So we start out, we're going to print out letter 1 and letter 2. Yeah, and it's going to be increments, the next letter and the next letter. So it's going to be the inner loop is going to always execute T and U. See, the inner loop is going to be T and U, and the outer loop is going to be G and then H. So G, T, U. Oh no. G, T, G, U, H, T, H, U. Wonder if this is right. Oh, yes, it is. All right. All right, now you can do the last one. All right, so nested loops. Print triangle. Oh, okay. Given num rows and num columns representing the number of rows and columns, write a nested loop using range to print a rectangle as shown in the example. Huh? Oh, rectangle. Okay, so 2, 3 does that. And so if we enter 2, comma 3, it does. Okay, well, it's just so the outer loop is 2 for I in range num rows for j in range num calls, and then just that. Yeah, right. Yeah. Say that this is right. Oh, I need some colons. Need some colons. Colon, colon. Okay, very good. Okay, well, what's next? Another challenge. Okay. Um, so another num rows and num columns is red. And theater seating. Okay, so when we input a 2 and a 3, we want to do 2 rows. And then 3 is going to be ABC. And what is this? Define the outer for loop with no indentation to iterate through each row of the theater. Use the loop variable current row and iterate num rows times starting with integer 1. Okay, so this is num rows is read in, and so the outer loop, most outer loop is going to be 4, I don't know, I in range, I'm just going to do num calls, num rows, range, num rows. So it starts at 0, but I'll take care of that. And so I'm going to print, so I'm going to say row equals I plus 1. I'm just going to put that there. Okay. Oh, current row. Yeah, current row. Current row equals I plus 1. Yep. And then I'm going to have a loop inside where it's going to be tab. Oh, there's space. It's step 2. Am I using for loops? Yeah, I'm using for loops. Add a statement to initialize the current column letter to A. Oh, okay, I better. Yeah, I better do that. Copy that, and I'm gonna go that. equals A. Okay. And then what is step 3? In the outer loop's body, define an inner loop to iterate through each column of the theator. Use the loop variable current column and iterate through. Okay, I want to use that variable name. Okay. For, I don't know, current column in, no, well, while, oh, I'm still iterating through a number of columns. Okay, so I got to do that. For second do this 1 comma num columns plus 1. I can do that for current row also. I'm going to do current row is, I'm not going to use I. I'll just use in range from 1 to num row plus 1. Num rows plus 1. And then I don't need this. Or current column in range of, okay, and what do I do? I'm just gonna loop that many times, whatever. I think that's, oh, current column letter. Yeah, I think that'll probably, but I don't use current column for anything, but so I actually don't need to do this. I can go like this because current columns can start counting at 0. Current row, though, I want that to start counting at 1. This work. I'm missing some colons. Like, in fact, right here. Hey, yeah, nice. All right. Okay. All right, got one more here. Integers outer n and inner n are read from input. There we go. The outer while loop executes this many times. Right. Because I starts out at 0 and it goes all the way up to and including outer n. Complete the inner while loop to execute inner in times for each iteration of outer loop. Let's see. What do I do? Put something here. Quick start helps. All right, so right here I'm going to put while j is less than inner n. Well, that's the case. I think that's, yeah, it did it. Oh, it doesn't like, I don't see why that doesn't work. I closed the comment. I mean, all right, good. Okay, what's next? Okay, outer val and inner val. Oh, it's similar. It's similar. Okay, so the inner loop does inner val plus 1 times. So that's fine. The inner loop can be 4j in the range of inner val plus 1. Hey, not bad. Well, hey, these are so hard. Okay, what's next? Oh, wait, what's going on? Anyway, number 3. Okay, number 3. Integer in value is read in for each number from 1 to that, both inclusive. Well, okay. Output the number's value of asterisk characters followed by the number. So in other words, if you read it, oh, I see. Okay, all right. Okay, so if it inputs 3, I want to do 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Okay, so I input in value, and then I go for I can use a for loop. For I in the range of okay, I'm just going to do input is 3. If the input is 3, it goes up to 3. I'll just do, so we are doing 3 of them, right? Yes, we are doing 3 of them. Except for the number we print out is what I plus 1 is. Okay, I'm going to do range of, you can do it a bunch of ways. In value. So if I input a 3, I'm going to output 3 times. And what am I going to output? Well, I'm going to output I plus 1 asterisks followed by I plus 1. So how about if I do it this way? 1 comma in value plus 1. That should work. And so now I can just do I times. And so now first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to print out some asterisks for j in range of I. Yeah. Print an asterisk with end equals nothing. And then when you're all done printing those asterisks, print I, just like that. And let's see if this is it. Yeah, all right. Nice. Ooh, okay. Um, okay, well, you can do the last one. Let's see what's next. Developing programs incrementally. Okay. Here we're just you know, this just says when you develop programs, just do a little bit at a time and then, run it to make sure that it does what you think it does at that point in time. So here it talks about you're writing a phone number program, and the first thing you do is it's going to look like this. Incremental programming. First, you start with a simple version of the program, and then you grow the program a little by little until you complete the version. So you might start out, first you have a program that reads in the phone number, and all it does is it loops through and it outputs it. Um, you know, whatever. And then I guess you're supposed to, I don't know. Anyway, you should go through this and see that um, by adding just a little bit, at a time and then running it, you know that if it doesn't work, then it was just the last thing that you did. So, you can try to fix it, and if all else fails, you just step back to the version that last worked, and then you start over. You add the next step, you know, um, again, starting over. So that way it's easy to identify where in your code something doesn't work because it's going to be what you just added. Okay, so anyway, you can go through this. Okay, so here's some extra features of loops. There's a break statement and a continue statement. A break statement will break out of the loop in the middle of it. So, you're having a loop here. This is the loop, the for loop, and this is what's inside the for loop down to there. And because this is at the same level as the for loop. So this stuff is from here to here is inside the for loop. Well, so you have this for loop, and it's looping through num empanadas is looping through this range of num empanadas plus one. But then and each time you're keeping this meal cost variable here, and each time you're adding the cost, you add another empanada and all that kind of stuff. And then, but let's say that you have a maximum, and the maximum is how much money the person has. So if the meal cost ever hits that, then you don't want to go any further. So you just want to break out of the loop, okay? And it's a for loop. So there's no like a while loop. You can manipulate something and then exit the loop the next time it comes around. But with for loops, you can't do that. So you're just going to break out of it. And so that's where the break statement comes in handy. When this thing is hit, it breaks out of the for loop and goes to here. So it doesn't matter where we are in here. If it hits that, then it breaks out of it. Okay, that's the break statement. A continue statement will say, it's the same idea. You're inside this loop, and the continue statement will go, okay, wait a minute. Okay, I'm done with this pass. I'm done with this pass of the for loop. Skip all the rest of it, go back up to the top, and go to the next one. Okay, so it's a way of like skipping everything down to the end of that block of the for loop and going back up the top and just going to the next one and then continuing with the next one. So that's a continue statement. Okay. So let's do some of these challenges. Oh. All right, tired today. Start. Type the program's output. stop equal, okay, so you're gonna, stop is a variable, which I guess we're gonna use it to stop. Okay, here, n equal greater than stop. Okay, so if n is greater than stop, then print stop, then break out of this, break out of the loop that you're in. So break out of this for loop. So let's say, oh, okay, so input is 5, so that means it's gonna stop when, so this is gonna execute when this is true. And this is gonna be true when n is greater than or equal to stop. Okay, so what is n? Well, n starts out at 3, prints it, prints the 3, comes down, is 3 greater than or equal to stop? No, it's not, so it goes back up here, and then it goes to the next one, which is 4. And then is 4 greater than or equal to stop? No, it's not, so it goes back up here, and now range is, now n is 5, print the 5. Is 5 greater than or equal to stop, which is 5? Yes, it is. It's equal to stop. So it's going to print stop. And then it's going to be done. It's not going to do n is equal to 6 or n is equal to 7. It's not going to do those. It broke out. And there we go. So what's next? Okay, here's a continue. And the continue is gonna, this is the inside, this is the block of the for loop. So continue would skip, it looks like continue would skip this and just go back up to the top. And it's gonna skip that, it's gonna skip the printing of n when n is greater than or equal to the threshold. Okay, so let's start this out. N is equal to 1. The threshold is equal to 1. N starts out, why is this? This doesn't make sense. There's this here, and then there's this. Well, anyway, this doesn't do anything. All right, so maybe it's put there to confuse you. Okay, so n is going to start out equaling 0. And then is n greater than or equal to 1? No, it's not. So it's going to print n. Then it's going to come back up here, and it's going to say, and now n is going to equal to 1. Is 1 greater than or equal to 1? Oh, yes, it is. It's equal to 1. So then it's going to do this inside thing. So that inside thing is this thing, underscore. And then it's going to skip this and go back up here and go to the next n. What's the next n? N is equal to 2. Is 2 greater than or equal to 1? Yes, it is. So we're going to print the underscore again. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's, I think that's what it prints. It's going to print, yeah. It's going to print 5 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's going to print 6 things. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so let's see if this is right. Good, it's right. Okay, what's next? These are complicated. Okay, so it's gonna read in 3 integers. A is 4, B is 36, C is 16. While A is less than B, okay, while B is 36. So while A is less than 36, print A. Okay, I see. I'm gonna well, okay, I'll see if I can keep track of this without a note, without any notes. Okay, so first it's gonna print A, and A is 4. And then it's going to see, is A greater than C? Yes, A is, no, A is not greater than C, so it skips out. Now A equals A plus 4, so now A is equal to 8. Goes back up here. Is 8 less than 36? Yes, it is. So print 8. Is 8 greater than 16? No, it's not. So don't break out. A equals A plus 4. Now A is equal to 12. Go back up here. Is A less than 36? Yes, it is. Print A, which is 12. And is A greater than C is 16? No, it's not. So go down here. Now A is equal to A plus 4. And so now A is equal to 16. And go back up here. Is A less than 36? Yes, it is. So continue on. Print 16. Is 16 greater than 16? No, is 16 great? Yeah, is 16 greater than 16? No, it's not greater. No, 16 is not greater than 16, so we don't break. And now we do A equals A plus 4, so now A is equal to 20. Go back up here. Is 20 less than 36? Yes, it is less than 36, so we go here. Print A, so print 20. And then now we go here. Is A less than C? Is A great? Is 20 greater than 16? Yes, it is. So we break out. We break out of the while loop. We're done. Let's see if this is right. Yes, it is. Okay. Let's see. Well, why don't you do you can do these last two. They're a little tricky, but I think you can do them. How far are we? I'm getting pretty tired here. This is blue belts, enumerate. Okay. I'm gonna do these. I don't think I did any labs for chapter 7 either. So I'll do those in separate videos. Maybe I'll do that this weekend. I think this time I'm just gonna finish up this challenge and go into loop else, and then I get 8-4. Okay, anyway, let's keep moving. All right, so Simon Says is a memory game where Simon outputs a sequence of 10 characters, red, green, blue, whatever, and the user must repeat the sequence. Create a for loop that compares each character of the two strings. For each matching character, print for each matching character, add 1 point to the user score. Upon a mismatch, you end the loop. Okay, so all right. So if it's like this, it's going to compare the R and the R, and then it's going to compare this second R with the second R, the G with the G, the B with the B, and then after the B is an R, but here the person after the B is a B. So now it's a mismatch. So it got all the way up to 4. So that's why the score is 4. So I don't know. All right. User score 0. So while Simon pattern of user score while Simon pattern of user score equals user pattern of user score. I'm using user score as the index. This is going to be a string. I'm going to treat it with a string, and I'm going to compare the characters of the string this way. And I'm just going to use the user score as the index. Why not? I think that'll work. While those two are equal, then increment user score. Am I supposed to use a exit or something? No, a break. I used to use. Am I supposed to use a break or something? Uh, all right. All right. I'm just gonna see what this does. I'm gonna see what this does. Index out of range. Okay, so while I don't know, do we assume that they're the same? Oh, it's 10. It's always 10. It's always 10 characters. Oh, okay. And um, user score less than 10. How's that? I better do user score less than 10 first. Why? Because I don't want to first I'll check that. And if that's checked, that's not true, I don't want to do anything else because that's what caused the index out of order. So first I check the score and then I check that. See what this does. Yeah, okay. Very good. Okay, loop else. Um, so loop else may include an else clause that executes only if the loop terminates normally and doesn't use a break statement. Okay. So if the user terminates normally, then it's the else is of the it's kind of like an if statement that's got an else clause, but again the if is replaced with a while. So while this expression is true, it loops, and the first time this expression is not true, then it execute that's false, so it executes the else clause and then it continues on. And same with uh, but it only does that. It only executes the else clause if the while loop terminated normally. If the while loop terminated because of a break statement, then it doesn't do the else clause. And same with for, same idea with the for. Now, what is this used for? You know, I've taught this course for a few times and I've tried to come up with a good reason for using this. But anyway, it's there. So I guess we can do one of these. What's the output result? While n is equal to 6. Print the number. We're going to start out with n equals 3. And we're going to come in here and we're going to print the 3, followed by space. And then we're going to add 4 to the result. So now result is up here. Result started out as equaling 0. So now result is equal to 4. And n is equal to n plus 1, so now n is equal to 4. Goes back up here. Is n less than 6? Yes, n is equal to 4, so 4 is less than 6. So print the 4. And then add 4 to the result again. So now result is equal to 8. And we add 1 to n. N is equal to 4. We're going to add 1 to it. Now it's equal to 5. Come back around here. And is 5 less than 6? Yes, 5 is less than 6, so go ahead and print the 5. And then result was equal to 4. After it prints a 3, it's equal to 4. After it prints a 4, it's equal to 8. After it prints a 5, now result is equal to 12. And then we're going to add 1 to n, and now n is equal to 6. So this thing fails. This is now no longer true. So it comes down here and it prints slash space 12, I guess. Huh. And then it prints done. Wow. Well, that's right. What do you know? Weird. What's the next one? Okay. Result is equal to 1. Okay, result is equal to 1, and we're going to be multiplying result by, I'm going to bring up a notepad here. So result is equal to 1, and n is equal to 3. And while n is less than 11, print n. So n is 3, print 3, space. Is result less than 31? Yes, it is. Result's equal to 1. So then, no. Is result greater than 31? No, it's not. So skip that. Then add 1 to n. So now n is equal to 4, comma 4. I'm just going to do it that way. And then come back up here. Is n less than 11? Yes, it is. 4 is less than 11. Print 4. 4. Oh, I forgot to do this result equals result times 3 before, didn't I? So result is equal to 3. Now we're back around, and result is equal to result times 3 again. So now result is equal to 9. And is result less than 30, greater than 31? No, it's not. So n is equal to n plus 1. So now n is equal to 5. Isn't it? 5. So it comes back, is 5 less than 11? Yes, 5 is less than 11, so it prints 5. And then it multiplies result by 3, so now result is equal to 27. Is 27 greater than 31? No, it's not, so it doesn't do that. N is equal to n plus 1, so now n is equal to 6. Huh, that's weird, it doesn't. 6. Okay. Is n less than 11? Yes, it is. Print n, so print 6. And then do result equals result times 3. So now what's 27 times 3? It is, it's the same as 27 times 3 is 60. What's 30 times 3 is 90, minus 3 is 81. 81, I bet that's what it is. 81. Is 81 greater than 31? Indeed it is. So now we're going to print this thing, and we're going to hit enter because it's a full-blown print statement. And then we're going to break out of there and we're going to print done. Done. All right. Okay, you can do the rest of them. Okay, so so this is when you're looping through a sequence of things, like you're looping through a list or something. And you can get okay, so this is using range and len to iterate over so sequence. So let's say you're gonna loop over. Let's say you've got a list like this. It's got 3 elements in it, and you can address those elements like this. If index goes from 0, 1, 2, that's what's going to happen here. The length of origins is 3, so the range here is going to be 0, 1, 2. So index is going to be 0, 1, 2. So this, we're indexing origins 0, 1, 2. It's going to print out, 0, 1, 2. And so here we're printing out the index and the value, where value is whatever. So that's why it looks like that. If you use, you can do it this way, where we're looping through elements of this list, and you can get the index of a value by doing this, by doing it this way, where you take the you want to know what you have a list and you have a value and you want to know what the index is. You find that out using this kind of notation. If you use this enumerate method here, you can get both the index and the value this way. So this is a pair of, this is an integer, and this is whatever the type of this index is. So anyway, that's how you do that. Use this enumerate method. Use the in here. For this pair in this index value pair. So anyway, that's something you can use. Let's see what these are. Times it. Okay, let's see what this is. Here you got a list. And we're using this enumerate thinger. Okay, so the color and the position. Position is the index, color is the value. So we're supposed to print these. All right. It does all of them. Color is black, space 0. Green, space 1. Red, space 2. Yellow, space 3. And blue, space 4. All right. Okay, so for the first 2, it prints out 0. For the first 2, it's going to print out 0x, 1x, and then for the second 2, since it's not numbers not necessary, it's going to print out 3, and then this, and then 4, and this. So it would be something like position is 0, x, 0, 1, position, x, and then the position is 2, space 3, and the position is 3, space 4. See, you're always printing the position first, and that's 0, 1, 2, 3. But then when the number, when the actual value you're printing, when that is less than 0, you print X instead. If it's not less than 0, then you go ahead and print the number. See, so that's what that is. Is this right? Yes. All right, let's do these, couple of these here. List, it's a list. Gonna read 4 thingers, 4 elements, contains 4 beverage names read from input. Complete the for loop using the enumerate function to output each beverage's order position in the queue followed by the beverage's name. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna put here if I'm gonna do some enumerate thing. The position is gonna be first, right? Yeah, position is first, so it's gonna be IDX. Better press the start. IDX. IDX, comma, beverage. Yes. Okay, what's the next one? Read from input. Oh. Okay, so we're gonna input these 3 things and it's gonna output that. Wow, okay, let's do that. Okay, so 3 and then orders list, and we're gonna stick them on the orders list. And then we're gonna print that out. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. Print. F index. I. No. Oh, wait. I think I need to have a for loop, don't I? Can I put it? Will it let me? Yeah, I'm gonna see if this works. I'm gonna try see if this works. I'm gonna print index colon. I'm gonna print the I here. Then I'm gonna print a colon. Then I'm gonna print orders list I. Oh, I can't do that. I can do this though. Um, kind of cheating. I'm seeing if I can do it all in one loop, and if this works, then it's not what they're looking for. But oh, I went in. I see. It reads it in and puts it right there, so it's already in there. Can I? Bev equals orders list I. Bev. Is this a word? All right, well, that's not what they're after. They wanted me to load it all up into this list and then start a loop, do a whole new loop to output it, using, enumerate probably. But anyway, you can fiddle with that. All right, so you can also look at this additional practices and try to do the labs, and I will make a lab. I will make a separate video with just the labs for those of you that need that. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.